Hi everybody, howdy howdy. I just had some thoughts. This is unrehearsed. It's kind of what I have to say about an old OBEer like me. And, oh, that's my dog over there, Max. When I started out of body, I was on my own. And I know that if we talk about, you know, when it started and things like that, how far it goes back. I could go back, I don't know, thousands, years, hundreds. But I just I wanted to talk about when I started it 27 years ago, how it's changed, in my opinion. I mean, I don't want to get, right in, and well, you're full of crap, and all this kind of thing. But this is for me, what I consider how it was, my own experiences, and how it's changed today. When I started, I got turned on by Art Bell, Coast to Coast radio show, and maybe heard of him, maybe haven't. He's passed on now, and that's got me started. But before then, there was Robert Monroe, who's a master and really knew his stuff. He was, in my opinion, he was the one that started to bring it to the forefront. He kind of lit the candle to out-of-body experiences and things. And I think indirectly, through him, it opened up near-death experiences studies as well. But I'm not sure of all this. Like I said, I don't need everybody coming against me. It's just my opinion. But Robert Monroe did studies and wrote, I think, 3 books that I know of. I have them all. I might have wrote some other ones. But he started it, found out by accident or whatever, and he was the one that brought it forward. But I don't think that his books got that popular till, and I don't know for sure, till Art Bell came out on his show about it. And what happened with him, Art Bell, to my recollection, Art Bell he was a radio host on the show, his own show. And he had his own out-of-body experience. It just happened spontaneously. He wasn't trying to do it, and I can't remember the details of it, but he had it. And he, at the time, I remember him talking about getting some information on it. And I believe he put a word out somehow through his show about, anyone who did it, come on, we want to talk to you, get you on the show. And Albert Taylor was, to my belief, he was the first person on his show that talked about it. He was relatively unknown, a small, not a big publisher guy or book play. He was just a small guy, and which I got his book. And he came on quite a few times on his show and talked about he had gotten out. And I'm not, like I said, I have his book. I read his book, but like 40 years ago or 30 years ago, what it was. But he talked about how he had gotten out of body and met people on the other side, and I was really interested in it, not really infatuated with it, but I was getting a little interested in it. But that's kind of what, in my opinion, Art Bell, it's a big show, it's a late night show, and I don't know worldwide or how many countries it went to or what, but it was a pretty good show. And so after Albert Taylor came on, then William Buhlman, who I have the utmost respect for, and I've learned so much from him over the years, and a lot of his techniques I use, and I think he's a genius, and I highly recommend any of his books, especially the first one, which is, I think, a masterpiece. So he is on his show, and it seemed to me that, and not necessarily it was William Buhlman or Albert Taylor or Coast to Coast, it seemed like to me at that time it started to out of body started to uh, kind of maybe not be heard about a little bit, not overly heard about, but it was it was kind of getting it was kind of on the butt of TV shows, late night shows. I'm having an out of body experience or something, and it was kind of made fun of, and but no one knew, in my opinion, anything about it. But it was a butt of jokes and things, and but I got in it. Basically, I started through William Buhlman being on the Coast to Coast show. But after that, it seemed like I went to bookstores, Barnes and Noble and the big ones, and this is way back. I mean, this is, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago. And I'd walk into the Barnes and Noble, and I would say, I would be embarrassed because I don't read books usually. I'm not a reader, and I decided I was going to go get the book. And Barnes and Noble's a giant, bookstore, huge. And I know where it was, and I felt embarrassed about going to the clerk and asking him where do you keep the out of body books, and so he didn't give me any look or anything, but I felt that I was kind of well embarrassed about it. And I know when I started to get into doing it, I was shunned by a lot of people. Not so much my family, but if I had friends or anything, they'd roll their eyes back, and I'm crazy. So I ended up not, saying anything to anybody. And even the family was good and everything, but I didn't like to say anything because they're not into it. Well, they got into it a little bit, but anyway, back then too, there was no computers, there was no online, there was not a lot of books or workshops there was little to find out about it. In my opinion, I know maybe some guys had places to find more information, but as far as I know, I didn't. And so. Like I said, there was no computers, there was no anything like that. So, and I would go and I would pick out I'd go down maybe every month and see if I could get, a book or two here and there, which I, usually devoured. And and then when I started to do it, I like I said, it was, if I talked to anybody about it, it would be just, Jack's a nut. So I didn't. Now I look at it that looking back after 27 years of out of body, clairvoyant as well, it's been, other than my family, the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm, going to express a lot of through my channel, a lot of things in regards to what I did and learned, and as things go forth, if anybody's really interested in it. But it's changed my life. I mean, it's the biggest thing, other than my family, that's ever happened to me. It's given me the answers to everything I wanted to know. Now, maybe you believe it, maybe you don't. But for me, it's given me the God, the religion, the answers, what the other side's about. I've talked to my dead parents. I've talked to, been on the other side, my grandparent. I just, it's done so much that I'll try and open up through my channel as we go through, that I got to the point after 20-something years that there wasn't a lot of questions that I had anymore. They were all pretty much answered. The fear of dying, and just so much. Where do I go? I mean, it was so fantastic and wonderful that like I said, now that I'm 71 years old and not that old, but not that young. When I look back on it, I think of the friends I've met over there, the things I've done, the wisdom I've acquired. And it's, like I said, it's the most fantastic, awesome thing that's ever happened to my life. And I wish everybody could do this. Or maybe they can, but if they would have the desire to do it. Because now things are different. Out of body's off the tip of everybody's tongue. You know, not all the time, but it's, you say out of body, people think they know what they're talking about. And there's workshops, there's books, there's television, you know, there's podcasts, there's organization, IONS, all these places you can go get any information that you want to get about anything, a lot more than I know. And it's all right there. Take it. Reach out and get it. It's all there. You don't have to depend on me or anything. Get out there and make it. You don't have to be a big, a spiritual person. You don't, in my opinion. You don't got to be a big spiritual person. You don't have to, be a certain kind of a person. Or it's for anybody. And if you want the answers for whatever, life, the afterlife, your parents, where are they? What have they done when they passed? Anything. But just questions about anything you want. It's there right in front of you for the taking. And I just wish that you all would at least give it a try. Fight through the fear and the torment and the, I'm going to be crazy, can't tell anybody about it. But if you get through all that, you could be like me. You could sit back on your deathbed and say, man, it's a fantastic thing. Thank God I went out and I did it. And what I've learned and the peace of mind you have in your last days, as well as making another side to life, to the physical side. I think that physical should be taught. The physical things should be taught. School, writing, and all these different things and how life is. But there should also be taught the spiritual side. But they have to know what they're talking about. I remember that old saying that I heard. What is it? We're not a physical person having a spiritual. Spiritual what? Spiritual time or whatever. We're a spiritual person having a physical or existence. If that makes sense. I kind of messed up a little bit. But I think it's, you know what I'm talking about. But it's so, again, in conclusion, it's so easy right now with the tech and communications and to find out anything you want to find out about, you can find out about it. And rather than it be a butt of a joke, find out for yourself. Prove me wrong. I mean, give it a try. And I think you'll be hopefully dumbfounded by the fantastic results you may get. So sorry, I kind of blow off a little kind of steam I have on it, but I hope you take it with a grain of salt or take it with a lot more than that, and maybe you can make it happen and get out and have the greatest time of your life. Thanks. I appreciate everything, guys. Thank you. Bye.